Nearly 31% of U.S. adults are going into debt to cover back-to-school expenses, with costs averaging $875 for K through 12 and $1,365 for college students. Ted Rossman from Bankrate highlighted that half of credit card holders already have credit card debt, with the highest percentage in 4.5 years, and noted that 6 in 10 credit card debtors had been in debt for at least a year. Financial pressures have led parents to prioritize essential expenses over trendy items, with Mariana Martinez from Wells Fargo stating the pressure for parents and children to have the latest, most fashionable school gear is brutal, but at what cost? But not at any cost. She emphasizes that teaching children the difference between needs and wants is a more valuable lesson than succumbing to the pressures of buying expensive things. And the next story talks about the fact that more Americans are thinking about postponing retirement. Tom, talk about the parents with credit cards. What do you see with the story here?
What's going on is this is a downstream happening, because upstream we have $1.2 trillion in credit card debt. That's more than we've ever had. And we are at a 14-year high right now of 30-day delinquent, 60-day delinquent, and 90-day delinquent, if you look at those three buckets of people in credit card trouble. And now here comes back to school. And what I read was that 65% of the spending was for legitimate school supplies, not the latest cool sneakers.
Right.
It's like a new backpack and the legitimate supplies for K-12 and college students. And this is a cost to get back into the school year. And parents are putting it on that 1.2 trillion credit card balance. And by the way, 6 in 10 credit card debtors been debt for a year. What they're saying is 60% of people with a credit card have not paid it off to zero in over a year. And that is a 7-year high. And this is because this is the inflation effect coming back.
Yeah.
And now what's happening? More parents are postponing retirement. Well, honey, we're not going to sell the house. Let's keep the 2.5% mortgage, keep the place in Parsippany, which is New Jersey, and let's just rent when we go down to Florida. And maybe we only go down every other year. And maybe I work another year because we need a little bit more savings here because of what inflation's done. What it is there is a backdrop that Main Street is in pain. And these stats here are just underlining it for us. We need leadership to take it out of us, and it's not just a rate cut from the Fed that's going to do that.
More than 8 in 10 respondents said that they have thought about postponing their retirement for financial reasons, while another 92% expressed concerns that they will have to work longer than planned. Adam?
Well, I remember last holiday season during Thanksgiving, during Christmas, I did sort of a holiday episode on my show, The Saucecast, and I asked people, what is the most expensive holidays or occasions that Americans spend their money on? And do you know what the most expensive holiday was or occasion was? Take a guess.
Going back to school.
Was it back to school?
Exactly. And you didn't even think about it because you think Christmas, right? So here are the numbers. Number one was back to college, $1,200. That's number one. When I say holiday occasion. Number two was Christmas and the holiday season, $1,000. Number three was back to school in general, high school, middle school, whatever it was, $860. Those are the top three. And then there's a very steep drop off. Then it comes down to $250 for Mother's Day, Easter, $180, Valentine's Day, $175, Father's Day, $170. Everything else is hovering around $100, $200 down to Halloween, where people are spending basically $80, $90, $100. But the top three were back to college, Christmas, holiday season, and back to school. And if you add that all up, that's just the top 10. You're talking $4,000 to $5,000. Now that's the difference of what's the average credit card balance in America today? About $6,000. So there's the numbers right there of why if you spend money on all the holidays combined, and then especially if you want to take care of your kids, because that's number one, obviously, you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck, probably in debt.
If our election should be completely focused on this one story. This, nobody is talking about this, right? Good for you for doing it. This is what the entire election should be about. If Bobby Kennedy had made this is what it is for me. This is what it is, this reality, and what I can do about it, I would tell you then I would vote for the guy. Because it is everything that is stressing us right now. Because look, let me tell you what else we spend our credit card debt on. Utilities, rent augmentation. People are paying for essentials with money they don't have. Families can't put their hands on $1,000 for an emergency.
Yep.
The majority of families can't. Our heads are so skewed by the 1% existence that, I mean, you know, even Tom's example, hey, we're not going to sell the house. How many are owning it? How many have that much equity in their homes? And, you know, we're going to rent and we'll go to Florida. Who's going to Florida? Who's traveling?
No, these elderly, older people that were putting off retirement do have homes. The average value is like $360,000.
Right.
So they have a small place in New Jersey. They were looking forward to selling it, buying a small place in Florida. So the rheumatism and the arthritis.
But one of the fastest growing financial instruments is a reverse mortgage. And there's a reason for that. And people don't even understand what they're getting into. I'm telling you that as, you know, you want to be a populist, right, which is a popular term in our politics right now. Who wants to own this space? Who wants to own this issue? Who wants to own being the person to address why we're drowning in credit card debt, why we need it so much? It happens to be the biggest differentiator between American culture and every other culture, by the way. People can't borrow like we can here. And this is the issue. This issue matters more than anything else we're talking about in our election.
By the way, check this out. It's crazy that we're talking about this to the point where if you look at yesterday, an article comes out. I'll read all the different platforms, what they said. Surgeon General's new warning. Parents are stressed out. Parents can't function. They're so stressed. Surgeon General warns. Parenting is hazardous to your health. U.S. Surgeon General Advisory names parent stress as an urgent public epidemic. Surgeon General Advisory. Parents need mental health and support amid youth crisis. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob, by our Surgeon General on what he has to say about having kids. Go ahead.
Are under pressure. As a father of 2 kids, I feel this pressure too. Raising children has always been a rewarding but stressful job. They are the usual difficulties of parenting, dealing with financial concerns, worrying about our kids' health and safety, and getting through the teenage years. But today, families must also contend with new challenges, navigating technology and social media, a youth mental health crisis, an epidemic of loneliness that is hitting young people the hardest, and a hyper-intense culture of comparison that often leaves parents and kids feeling like they are not good enough. Parents report more stress compared to other adults. In fact, 41% of parents say that most days they are so stressed they cannot function. When stress is severe or prolonged, it can impact our mental and physical health, but it doesn't have to be this way. That's why I'm issuing a new Surgeon General's advisory on parents. Parents' well-being is linked to the well-being of kids. It can affect their health, their learning, and their futures. No society can thrive when parents and children are struggling. We need a fundamental shift in how we value and prioritize parents' well-being. And we can all take steps to help. Policymakers can ensure parents get paid time off to be with the sick child, and that families have access to affordable childcare and
you
reliable
can pause this,
health.
Rob. By the way, the way you can minimize the stress parents are having is with inflation, okay? Is with economy, is with the stress of trying to pay and make a living. Tom, you see this here. How do you react to it?
I think there's probably one part of the Surgeon General's staff that think that this is really well intended, but there's some hidden message under there about businesses being bad and they were putting stress on parents and that, which bothers me because you're picking on the very engine that could be helping them if they just got some economic support. I mean, businesses getting economic support so they can get better raises and offer benefits and stuff. So on one hand, the Surgeon General is trying to make a point and bringing something up like we didn't, but it's also like, well, yeah, we didn't know this. I didn't know I was under stress with these 2 kids and what I'm doing with the school and the schools, and my fears of school, my fears of gangs at school and drugs at school. So I didn't know this. I don't need the Surgeon General, in uniform with a touching video to tell me that I'm under stress. I think we have a crisis of neighborliness in this country. People, allow things like elections and other stuff to strip away what used to be a spirit of the neighborhood where everybody kind of reached out and helped each other. And people are increasingly fractured. So I look at this and I quickly get a little cynical about it.
Well, we're better off micro than we are macro. Communities are strong. People take care of each other. Charity is real. Helping is real. Communities take care of problems. If you want to look at macro things, again, this is the population, not parents necessarily. The people with the credit card debt, the people who are thinking of not retiring, that's who we should be talking about. And we're not, because it's easier to do everything else. All the culture wars and stuff, they're all a distraction.
Yep.
And that's who you should be speaking to. And it should matter to you that they're not, that they're making a choice not to do it. And you want to help parents? Oh, I got a great idea if you want to help parents with kids. Every school, I guess you'd have to do public schools. Every public school should ban phones. Every public school should ban phones. K to 12. Now, I know they mostly get them in middle school. I am a long-time parent, okay? We got a 21-year-old, we got an 18-year-old, we got a 14-year-old. If I could go back, okay, and do anything differently, one thing, and I got plenty of problems and failures that I would have a chance to redo, I would have changed our decision about when to allow my kids to have the phone. Not gaming, not, computer, not even just simply social media, the phone. My family, my parents growing up, the boob tube, it fries your brain, nothing compared to this thing. Nothing compared to this thing. And it would be, if I could do one thing in our society to help families, obviously you got financial issues, okay? But people weigh those. The number one thing that is hurting our culture is this.
Yeah.
Did you read Anxious Generation? Or
Yes.
No? You read it? One of the things I like that they talk about while we were at Hamptons with the family, every night that we were having dinner or we were going to a restaurant, everybody would grab their phones, put it on the other table. For 3 hours, we're all forced to talk to each other.
Yep.
It was fantastic. The other thing I like that he said in this book here, he says, some of you guys want to give your teenage kids a phone. Fine, do so. However, at 8 o'clock at night, everybody has to bring their phones down and put it in a safe and lock it, and they don't get it until 7:30 in the morning. I thought it was just a brilliant, simple concept that parents can do to put it aside.
But you will have a war on your hands.
If you started, if you're soft and then you try to raise standards, yes, you will.
Yes.
If you started like that from the beginning, they don't know the difference.
I'll say one thing real quick. You talked about culture wars. I actually think you're fully in the right there, because look, culture in America, whether it's TV, whether it's music, whether it's what kind of car you drive, even your phones, whatever, it's largely emotional. And that's what moves the needles. It's the culture wars. It's the threat to democracy. They're coming after your children. The logical thing is not appealing. If you want to talk about fiscal policy and tax code, that's not a winning message these days. It's boring. Nobody want to get into it. But that is actually what moves the needle. That's where the money is. But it's not exactly a sexy topic. The culture is largely emotional, and that's what moves the needle.
Did you see this, Tom, this morning? New candidates, outsiders are wanting to. Can you come in this late? 2 candidates are running for office this late? I don't know if that's even Rob, this is what story is talking about this? What channel is this?
Let me pull it up. Hang on one second.
Why would New York Post and New York Times talk about these 2 candidates can you pull up the campaign on what their slogan is? Pull up their campaign on what their slogan is. Here we go. The latest campaign. Zoom in, Rob. Zoom in. Ellsworth Sosnick 2024. Shut up, you little. It's their slogan.
Well played, guys. Well played.
Rob, can you do me a favor and play the clip for people know where this is coming from? By the way, can you have ever seen this?
Joke.
If that shirt exists and I don't get one in an extra medium before I leave, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Guys, that shirt
Pat.
is here.
I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it. You give it to me. I'm wearing it right now.
You got to be kidding.
This guy's getting naked on camera right here. What is happening right now? Ladies, don't look. Look away. You're not gonna.
Rob, go to my Twitter account. It should be on there right there. If you just go on my Twitter.
This is good.
This finally something I can get behind.
That's what she.
You gotta turn a little bit.
Ellsworth Sosnick.
Shut up,
So,
you little bitch.
This
Just what my mother used to tell me.
have you seen this clip on what happened or no on the
No.
podcast? Is this it, Rob?
We're doing this now?
Oh my
This is what
God,
we're
we have
doing?
to show. So on the podcast, this is a couple weeks ago. Adam and Tom are going at it, and next thing you know, okay, Tom, Rob, it's right there. If you just go on my account, you should be able to see it. I retweeted it.
Oh, okay.
I'm texting it to you as well. It's not hard to find. I think it's 6 down. Yeah, if you keep going, 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 you keep going. It's about to come up. Go one more right there. Okay. This is why the campaign started, folks. And you guys talked. Go ahead and play this clip. This is just a very special moment between the two candidates, the president and the VP. Go ahead.
More balanced. Oh, I read.
Tom, what's your point, dude?
I went into the,
what are you doing
oh,
here?
you're trying so hard, you little bitch. You know, it's like, it's like, you know, it's
Tom,
what you have.
Tom, you're the smartest guy in the room. You're rambling on and on and on.
Almost killed Vinny. Almost killed Vinny.
That's why he's not here today.
To
Tom,
you.
no shit. Give us what's your
Open
point?
the textbooks, baby. So
You can pause it right
have-
there. So for those of you that support the Ellsworth and the Sosnick ticket,
Yes.
and you like their slogan, this will be limited merch. We will never sell this again, guys. I'm telling you right now. If you want to go get that gear 2024, that's the merch right there. It'll sell out. We don't have a big amount of shirts. This is less than 500 shirts that you can go order. So once you order, it's out. It'll be limited edition. People won't see it. But we also have this one, which I freaking love. You'll see me sporting this one here. It's the Future Looks Bright 2024
There you
I can get
go.
behind this
campaign
one.
shirt and the red one. Pick and choose either one of those. You can go on vtmerch.com to place the order, but this is a special one. All right, sounds good.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.